Otherwise, you'll collapse his chute.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And sometimes you run into each other.
These guys
And you got to just spread your arms out like that, so you don't go between the shroud lines and get all tangled up.
You're all very dependent upon each other doing it right.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, you go out where they're having a mass jump there, you know, they're jumping 1,000 troops there, and they have bleachers set up so spectators can go out and watch this. And you see steel pots coming down out of the sky, and entrenching tools, and rifles, and GP bags.
What's that?
The guy was lost on the jump when they jumped out, and they lost their rifle or they lost their entrenching
you mean
tool.
fell?
Yeah,
Okay.
it just fell in there. An entrenching tool at Normandy drop zone, or not an entrenching tool, an M1 rifle at Normandy drop zone at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, will absorb an M1 rifle muzzle first and leave about that much of the stock sticking out of the ground.
Wow. So if it hit one of the spectators, that wouldn't be good.
That wouldn't be good.
Huh. And how long does jump school last?
4 weeks.
And then do you keep on doing it, though, to keep your skills up? I mean, even though you...
Well, the way it works is you get paid for being a paratrooper. You get paid more money for being a paratrooper. And you have to jump at least once every 3 months. Well, most of the guys jumped at least, you know, once a week.
Because you like doing it.
Yeah. And most of the guys that were there liked doing it. So they would have a jump. You could sign up and get on the manifest and go out to Pope Field, was where the Air Force Base was, and go out there and, you know, get on the manifest and make a jump.
And you were at Fort Bragg for how long?
Six or 8 months, something like that.
Before you went to Germany.
Oh yeah.
So say the first two months are more basic training, then another 2 months for jump school, and you got 4 months. Well, is that when you went to Ranger School?
Right after that.
So you finished jump school and then you went to Ranger School.
Yeah, that's when
You just wanted more education.
Huh?
You would keep on getting more and more education on this stuff. So where's the Ranger School?
Fort Benning.
That's in Georgia?
Yeah.
And how long does that last?
Well, at that time it was, I think it was 11 weeks, or I can't really remember, 11 weeks or 13 weeks.
So you just take all your shit with you, right? I mean, you don't leave
yeah.
anything. I mean, you didn't have a house or anything in Fort Bragg. I mean, you're
No, you had a barracks.
so you just pack
base.
you just pack everything you have and go to the next place.
Anytime you went someplace, you ever see these big bags that these soldiers are carrying
Yeah.
about this high,
Yeah.
and about this big around?
Yep.
That's what you carry all your stuff in.
That's all your stuff. And if you got more stuff, you get rid of it.
You get rid of it.
Yeah. So what made you decide to get? That was your choice to go to Ranger School. Nobody told you to do that, right?
No.
So how was it you decided to do that?
I just wanted to do it because I heard they were badasses.
When did you hear about it?
When I got there, I heard about it from people around me.
And did you have, at that point, did you have the guy that you worked for, where you were his assistant? That was not at Fort Bragg. That was in Germany, right?
Yes.
The old guy.
The old guy.
Yeah.
The captain. He was the captain at the time.
So, do you remember which Ranger School class you were in?
No.
Well, if you did the math,
It was in.
it would have been in the middle of '58, probably.
Yeah, probably around August or September.
Of '58.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the Ranger training comprised of?
Oh well, that's a whole litany of.
That's a different, but that's
Yeah, what Ranger training is primarily, and I've told people, and people who have asked me this question, I've told them that Ranger School is primarily a leadership school.
okay.
They teach you how to be a leader, and that's what it is. They have a lot of different and funny ways to teach you what leadership is, and it teaches you how to work with and depend upon your fellow soldiers.
But a Ranger's mission is to go do stuff with other Rangers, not to lead non-Rangers, is it?
That's true, but you still have to have leadership.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but then once you get to where your mission is, you have to take the local people and provide them with leadership, because what you do is you go and behind the lines and you try to get the local people to work.
You're talking about the potential enemy people.
Yes.
Or you're not talking about other American soldiers.
No, you're talking about sympathizers.
Indigenous populations.
Right.
So it's really even what we're doing today, right? With, Petraeus' counterinsurgency
That's
stuff.
why they've got so many
Afghanistan.
Rangers over there.
Right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is try to work with. So is part of it then a language program, or?
No, because you would be surprised how many people in this world speak English.
Okay. Even then.
Yeah. There's not a place where you can go in this world that I can think of where there is not somebody that speaks English.
Huh. So I remember you telling me about having to go through these swamps in Georgia.
Well, that was more in Florida at Eglin Air Force Base, because part of your training was down there at Eglin.
But that was during that same
swamps.
2-month period.
Yeah, they've got better swamps down at Eglin Air Force Base.
With more nasty crap in it?
Yeah, right.
Like alligators and snakes and.
I never saw any alligators.
Where is Fort Eglin?
Well, it's not Fort Eglin, it's Eglin Air Force Base.
Oh.
And it's up in the northern part of
The Panhandle or something?
Yeah, where it butts up against Georgia. And I'm sure it's part of the Ophiekanofi Swamp.
Huh. So once you leave Ranger School, do you stay with your same group, or?
I went back to the 04.
But you would have been one of many Rangers in the 04, or would you have been the only one?
No, there would probably be a total. I think we had 16 Rangers in there.
And how big would the 04 have been?
300.
Okay, so you guys would have, you would have been given some special deference just because of that additional training.
Oh yeah, we didn't pull KP, we didn't pull guard duty, we didn't do shit.
You didn't have to do anything.
No.
After you went to the school.
Right.
Did you have to train other people then on what you learned at the school?
Yeah, there was. They make study guides. In the Army, whoever the NCOIC of that particular, the squad leader, or actually a platoon leader of that platoon, has to make a study guide of different schools and training that they're going to have for a week, and they turn them into the company commander, and that's what they use.
Yeah, but the study guide, so you're saying that they would fill in as a trainer on the study guide, and the guy has come back from Ranger School.
Right.
So you weren't preparing the study guide. Somebody else was, but you're saying, I know the looter went there, so I'm going to have you teach this.
It's like Joe Fetty. He prepared the study guide and everything, and the teacher taught it.
Right. And he said, Mrs. Love's going to teach this. And
yeah.
So so did you have a specialty when you came back from Ranger School, or did you, how?
Well, then you take advanced weapons and stuff like that.
And where would you take that?
Which I was doing. You take it locally.
Okay.
They have guys who are experts. They have guys who are experts in everything. They have guys who are experts in demolition. They have guys who are experts in small arms fire. They have guys who are specialized in explosives and booby traps, and you have classes on those.
Okay. And what was your expertise?
I taught them how to play with guns.
Small arms fire, or both?
No, small arms.
So at this point, you come back, and your job is to teach other soldiers how to shoot pistols and
rifles and rocket launchers and rifle grenades and things like that.
So you consider a rocket launcher a small arm?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. So what would be I was thinking a pistol was a small arm.
Mortars and 3.5 rocket launchers.
Okay.
But I didn't do anything like with, say, a howitzer, because that was artillery.
Okay.
That wasn't small arms. That was under artillery.
The howitzer is the big cannon-looking thing that has the big recoil?
Right.
Okay. But like the stuff that they're using in Afghanistan, like the Taliban have those big rocket launchers that, well,
right.
the things that we gave the Taliban, I guess, 20 years ago.
And they got that 20-foot flat thing of fire coming out the back end of them.
That's what it is. That's what you're teaching.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll be darned, I didn't know that. So how long did you teach?
Put that on there and pat the guy on the head.
Bye bye. How long did you teach that stuff?
Well, it was kind of an interim project because when I got back, that's when I was going to Germany.
And when you came back, you knew you were going to be sent to Germany?
Yeah. Because the 04 was going to go to Germany.
Okay. And what would happen if you were still in your training? Would you just catch up with them later?
They'd catch, you'd have to catch up.
You wouldn't change out of your unit. You just go catch up with them later.
Right.
Do they let? I mean, if you self-select and say I want to go to Ranger School, do they say okay, or do they check you out in some way first?
Oh, I'm sure they check you out.
Yeah, but then when they get there, they also, I assume, some people quit. I mean, you don't quit the Army, but
75% of them
quit.
quit.
So you're not quitting the Army. You're just saying I don't want to finish this training, and you go back to your regular post or whatever.
And it's getting so now that if you're going to be successful as a combat officer or a combat NCO and make a career of the Army, you need to have that Ranger tab.
Okay. Now, what's the difference, Dad, between a Ranger program and a Green Beret?
Well, the Rangers teach the Green Berets.
So,
the Green Berets is Special Forces.
But Rangers aren't Special Forces?
They're all Special Forces.
Okay.
But the Rangers are the ones who do most of the teaching.
So in the Army, the Rangers are the most of the elite of the Special Forces, basically.
Basically, yes. I'd like to think we're the most elite of all of the forces.
Of all of the forces. That's what Pat Tillman was, isn't it?
Yes.
He was a Ranger. So then, let me check and make sure I'm straight on time. I don't want to have it stop. Oh wow, we only have 6 months. So when you get to, so how'd you get to Germany?
Troop ship. We went
on
to
a ship?
Wilmington, North Carolina, and got on a boat and went to Germany.
Shit. I would assume you flew there.
No, it was the USNS Buckner.
And as a battleship?
No, it was a troop ship.
What does that mean?
They carried troops. That's what their mission was to take troops and transport them from one end of the world to the other.
So they're escorted by battleships, I assume.
Well, they weren't at that time because we weren't at war, but ordinarily they would be.
Oh, yeah.
But they would be in a group of, naval
because Korea was over by this point.
Yes,
The armistice has been signed, not whatever. Ceasefire.
But that's when I got to go through the channel and I discovered that the White Cliffs of Dover really were white.
You went through the English Channel.
Went through the English Channel. When you go through there, there's a lot of downed airplanes and a lot of sunken ships in that channel. And you can see the superstructure on some of these ships. Now this was, 50 years ago, remember. And even naval ships had to have a captain from the British Navy come out and take them through the channel to avoid all of this stuff that's...
It's all just wreckage from World War II.
Wreckage from World War II. But the Navy ship had a pilot, the Navy ship had a pilot assigned to them from Great Britain, and they took the ship through the channel. Which I thought was unusual. I didn't think the captain of the ship ever gave up,
the charge of the ship.
Right.
Wow.
And we went to Bremerhaven, which is a...
So you went through the English Channel and then you had to go through France, I assume, right?
No.
No?
We landed in Bremerhaven.
Where's that?
Which is in Germany.
How do you get there?
Through the English Channel.
Oh. I guess I didn't realize you could do that.
And we landed in Bremerhaven and got off the ship and got on not an airplane, got on a train and took us to Mainz.
And what kind of town is Mainz? Is it? A military town, or?
No, it's a nice. It's small town Germany is what it was, and we were in a town outside of Mainz, which was essentially like Shorewood is to Milwaukee.
Yeah. And what's the name of that town?
Gansenheim. And these were all on the Rhine River. We could see across the river and see Wiesbaden, which was one of the bigger towns in Germany. Also, the Kaserne where we were in Gansenheim, I mean the place where we stayed, it had been a POW camp during the Second World War, and we had a guy in our outfit that had served time in there as a prisoner of war.
That's crazy. Huh. So, I've been to Heidelberg. How does this... Heidelberg seems like this classic old German city, but I know it's a tourist
Heidelberg am Neckar.
Yeah.
Neckar River.
Neckar River.
Yeah.
How would Mainz compare to like a Heidelberg?
Probably half the size.
Not as quaint?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some good bars there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I went to one. Yeah, we'll have to tell that story in the next tape. I guess we should stop since it's almost out of tape. This is on, by the way, January 2nd, 2010. Yeah, it goes so fast. Yeah, I only had a minute left.
Well, I'll tell you what. I haven't thought about that stuff in years.
I know.
And it's pretty hard to reach back into the cockles of your memory.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing it.